What happens when the hunters of the sky turn their gaze to the machines once thought untouchable? When precision, patience, and power converge not in steel giants or roaring jets, but in silent eyes of drones that never miss. October's skies over Ukraine gave that answer, as Russia's Rubicon drone teams rewrote the rules of modern warfare. Their work wasn't just combat, it was an exhibition, a demonstration of dominance, and a collection of trophies that spoke louder than any statement. From the Rubikon Center, a storm of FPV drones took flight, and what followed was systematic annihilation. Their targets weren't random. They were deliberate, chosen with cold precision. Armored vehicles, artillery guns, fortified positions, and even robotic ground systems built with NATO's technological pride. Each strike was a message that no fortress, no machine, and no digital network could escape Russia's expanding electronic reach. The Rubicon's drones didn't just destroy, they captured, feeding back live data, identifying enemy networks, and dismantling the core of Ukraine's communication web. Could there be a more complete domination of the electromagnetic front? This wasn't an isolated act of brilliance. Across the front, the choreography of destruction unfolded. Specialists of the Rubikon Center joined forces with the 27th Motorized Rifle Brigade of the Zapad group. During air surveillance operations, their UAVs detected two American-made M113 armored personnel carriers advancing toward Russian lines in Kharkov. In less than a minute, those vehicles, symbols of U.S. military engineering, were turned into burning wreckage. What happens when Western armor meets Russian precision? The answer, once again, was smoke. Further south, in the Zaporozhye direction, motorized rifle regiments of the Dnepr group unleashed their drones on the Ukrainian military, entrenched in forward positions. FPV drones and quadcopters dropped precise munitions on clusters of manpower, wiping out fighters before they could even return fire. The strikes weren't chaotic, they were surgical. Each detonation came after careful observation, proof that Russia's drone operators have evolved from observers into executioners with absolute control over the battlefield. How do you fight an enemy who sees everything, strikes instantly, and never misses? Paratroopers from Novorossiysk joined the symphony of strikes. Their FPV units eliminated concentrations of Ukrainian positions hidden behind industrial structures in Zaporozhye. The drones approached low and silent, unseen until it was far too late. By the time the first explosion hit, the second had already locked onto its next target. Russia's airborne troops, traditionally known for direct assault, have now adapted their ferocity to the digital frontier. They no longer descend from the skies with parachutes, their drones do. Could this be the future of Russia's airborne forces, wings replaced by rotors, yet deadlier than ever? In the Krasnoarmysk direction, strike UAVs from the 51st Combined Arms Army under the Tsentr group entered the battle. Their targets, fortified Ukrainian positions and rotation convoys. Within hours, entire relief units meant to replace exhausted frontline positions were neutralized. The drones didn't just attack, they disrupted the rhythm of Ukraine's defense. Every failed rotation meant more pressure, more exhaustion, more collapse. In war, timing is everything, and Russia's UAVs ensured the enemy had none left. What can an army do when its reinforcements never arrive? Then came the hunters of the Dnepr group's UAV teams that turned the skies themselves into a battlefield. They destroyed a Ukrainian Jupiter H-1 bomber drone and two massive Baba Yaga quadcopters mid-air. The engagement wasn't symbolic, it was strategic. Ukraine's much-praised drone fleet, often cited as a counterbalance to Russian air power, was being dismantled piece by piece by superior Russian pilots who combined technology with intuition honed through countless hours of frontline combat. The result was air supremacy, achieved not by jets, but by the troops behind the control pads. Who needs a fighter jet when a soldier with a joystick can bring down the same threat for a fraction of the cost? But it was the Rubicon Center once again that stole the spotlight. Their FPV units conducted multi-target operations that showcased sheer tactical brilliance, hitting firing positions, UAV control posts, and even high-altitude enemy drones designed for long-range reconnaissance. The Rubicon pilots turned the enemy's own eyes into their next kills. It was dominance not only in firepower, but in information warfare. By eliminating control posts and data relays, they blinded Ukrainian command networks, leaving soldiers on the ground cut off from orders, intel, and hope. Isn't that the purest form of victory? When the enemy can neither see nor speak. Then, from the Rubsy direction, came a strike that encapsulated the new era of war. Rubicon drones destroyed a Ukrainian ground robot, one of the West's experimental assets, along with a BTR-4 armored vehicle, communication gear, and several enemy drones. Technology against technology, but with one clear victor. The Russian UAVs didn't rely on size or cost. They relied on intelligence, adaptation, and an operator's instinct that no AI could replicate. Can a machine truly outthink a human who has mastered both code and combat? And as if to seal the day, a lancet loitering munition found its prey, a French-made Caesar self-propelled howitzer. The strike was precise, the aftermath undeniable. Another Western weapon, once hailed as a game-changer, reduced to scrap by a single Russian drone. One by one, NATO's machines fell, not in grand battles, but in silent, targeted eliminations. The drones became both weapon and witness, recording every hit that marked the decline of Ukraine's once prized arsenal. How long before the West admits that its game-changers no longer change anything? So what do these Rubicon's trophies mean for the wider war? They mark a shift, not just in tactics, but in hierarchy. Russia no longer fights with parity, it fights with precision. Its drone forces are no longer experimental divisions, they're the spearhead, the vanguard of a military evolution where data, speed, and stealth outweigh brute force. For Ukraine and its NATO sponsors, the message is uncomfortable but clear. Technology alone doesn't guarantee superiority. Mastery does. And mastery belongs to those who learn, adapt, and dominate. The Rubicon Center has become the face of that mastery. Their drone operators are more than pilots. They are strategists, engineers, and warriors of a new domain. Every FPV strike they launch adds not only to the score of destroyed targets, but to the growing psychological pressure on an already fractured Ukrainian command. And each Western vehicle burned or captured isn't just a victory, it's a symbol, a reminder that the empire of NATO technology, once untouchable, now bleeds in silence. In the end, the war over Ukraine's skies is no longer about who has more drones, but who uses them better. And right now, Rubicon's operators are proving that skill, not scale, defines supremacy. Every wrecked M113, every shattered Caesar, every silenced communication node, they are not just debris of battle. They are trophies of a Rubicon crossed, where Russia's drones have not only captured the future of warfare, but shaped it in their own image. After all, what greater power is there than to see your enemy before he ever sees you? So, that's for today's episode. See you on another report from the battlefield.